I don't know what's going on with Stephen A. Smith. I'm not doing the tier list, right? I want to do it, but I just can't in good conscience do it. I get enough Umar accusations as it is. I can't in good conscience with as big a platform as I have now do a tier list because I know the consequences for that will be fucking who just said some out of pocket shit. Some white commentator said some out of pocket shit about Van Jones, and I'm like, see, this is why I can't do a tier list because y'all don't know how to act. They call Van Jones an Uncle Tom. I'm like, yo, chill. Norm Finkelstein, who's got good overall politics, but he's a habitual line stepper when it comes to nigga shit, and he's just constantly doing that. I know that if I make a tier list, it will end up being something that gets reacted to by like one of the C-tier white streamer guys, and it'll spread in ways I can't imagine, and it'll be my fault. Somebody will make a meme out of it. Like, it'll just be the wrong thing to be memed for. Yeah, he is class justice and transphobic, yeah. So, like, there's just certain things I can't do. I'm not doing a tier list. I do think there's levels to this shit when it comes to the bell curve between like out and out buck dancing and Roland Martin, right? And Van Jones, and that's kind of wanted to do it because when we examine, I think one problem that black folks have right now is that black folks on the left are not a monolith. And I think we would do ourselves a service to do a better job of differentiating Stephen A. Smith from Roland Martin from Van Jones. Candace Owens's of the world, all of them wasn't going to be on the list. It was only going to be like examining Stephen A. Smith, Van Jones, Roland Martin is another one, Ibram X. Kendi. So what Kendi did, at the top of the tier list, you have like Kendi, Roland Martin, Angela Rye. At the top of that list, you have we have quality black libs. Not Cory Booker, not Don Lemon, no. I would put Jamal Bowman above this list. Like Jamal Bowman and Ilhan Omar, they're above this list. I wouldn't even put them on this list. You know what I'm saying? But then below that, at the top of the food chain, you have an Ibram X. Kendi, a Roland Martin, people with significant flaws in their politics, but overall, I'm not making no content about them unless they do something real fucked up, which is unlikely because their issue is mostly just poor critique of the role of capitalism in the system right now, right? So that's Roland Martin. Roland Martin is like your ideal black uncle. Before the genocide started, Ta-Nehisi Coates would have been on that list. And then he elevated out the list completely. I would have been on the list. It was one of the reasons why I feel like the nuance is necessary. If you'd have caught me, 2018, 2019 before COVID hit and I had to sit and think and start reading more books and then Dr. Ball called me out. He didn't even call me out. The Black Liberation Media audience called me out like in 2020, 2021 maybe. And it really sat my ass down and said, let me make some changes. I'd have been on the same list. I'd have been in the Roland Martin space. I was trying to figure out how not to get there, and I didn't know until I got wind of the right people. Because Stephen A. is doing this weird, is this like a RFK thing he's doing? Who's a good white corollary to Stephen A. Smith? It really is on some like enlightened centrist shit. Bet you he's about to be on Joe Rogan. And he's definitely about to run for something. I don't know if he thinks he's really about to run for president. I find that hard to believe. I feel like if Stephen A. Smith is running for president, there's hijinks afoot because Stephen A. Smith has only been a sports commentator. He's not even very good at sports commentary. He's just loud and kind of buffoonish. I think Stephen A. is a moderate Republican, to be honest with you. He just called out vaccines. Damn, I'm good. Yeah, he's going with the Roganite moderate populism thing. So he's going to say some out-of-pocket shit about trans people in a second because I can hear the dog whistles. I don't know. Does Roland punch left? I haven't really seen that. But let me see what Roland had to say. So Stephen A. in the last month or so, well, ever since Trump got elected, you started to see Stephen A. start to, dip his finger into political stuff a little bit. And again, Stephen A. Smith has only been in ESPN. He hasn't ran no businesses. He hasn't held no offices. He hasn't done anything to make you think he's a politics guy at all. But suddenly he's here, and we have to worry about his political takes. And he's been very consistently punching left. He says something like, if Zohran Mamdani wins, the Democrats will lose everything. He's calling out Jasmine Crockett, which I don't have a real solid take on Jasmine Crockett other than I don't know what she does other than make fun of Republicans in a way that's, pleasing. She's basically a bread tuber from what I can see, but maybe I don't know the full details. So Crockett's probably in this same category. Roland's definitely anti-Mamdani. Hate to see it, but it is what it is. He's probably not anti-Mamdani for the right reasons. We'll get to that. All y'all niggas owe me an apology. Ooh, y'all was so mad at me and I clocked that shit day one. But we'll come back to that. But yeah, let's see what Roland got to say about Stephen A.
A lot of people talking about Stephen A. Smith making comments criticizing Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett and how she handles herself in the criticism of Donald Trump. So these were the initial comments, okay? So let's roll the initial comments. We have initial comments. Go ahead and roll that and go ahead.
How Jasmine Crockett chooses to express herself, I'm like, is that going to help your district in Texas? Aren't you there to find a way to get stuff done as opposed to just being an impediment to what Trump wants? How much work goes into that? I'm just going to go off about Trump, cuss him out every chance I get, say the most derogatory, incendiary things imaginable, and that's my day's work. That ain't work. Work is saying, that's the man in power. I know what his agenda is. I'm not exactly in a position to stop him since the Republicans have the Senate and the House. But maybe if I'm willing to work with this man, I might get something out of it for my constituency. Because like Joe Manchin said,
I was almost with him. I was almost about to be like, oh, maybe I kind of agree with Stephen A. right here. I was like, he may be on to a point. And then he did exactly what this nigga does. Oh, and this is why it's so important to have a better critical lens of the black political spectrum amongst liberals or amongst moderates or whatever the fuck Stephen A. is. Because the first thing he says is exactly my criticism of Crockett. And I couch this of saying I don't know enough about Crockett other than her viral moments and knowing how the attention economy works. I can't judge her too harshly on that because I haven't done the investigation and it may not be her fault that I just saw somebody say Jasmine Crockett is someone that white liberal women use to clap back at their conservative cousins, right? So that's not necessarily Jasmine Crockett's fault. It's not Jasmine Crockett's fault that she can drag a chick from the stage or whatever. That's not necessarily her fault. But I'm sure there's other things she can and is doing in Texas. I'm going to believe that. Because essentially what Stephen A. is getting at here is that she should be nicer to the Republicans so she can work with them. And it's like, if you tell me that grandstanding isn't really useful for your constituents in Texas or wherever else, and make sure you focus on that, I'm with you. If you tell me grandstanding is bad because Republicans won't like you and you need to be nicer to Republicans, get out of here with that bullshit. Stephen A.'s not going to win any type of elections or whatever, but the big money's not in sports. So if Stephen A. can position himself in the Joe Rogan spot for black people, where he can be a white whisperer.
Can I tell you a secret?
Sure, man.
I see white people.
That's also very amenable to white sensibilities, then he's going somewhere in terms of his career. Politically, this is some bullshit. He did another interview.
Big bro, you know what? I'm gonna hit you with the how Oprah
never been married?
does it. Cause she say your first name real quiet and stare at you.
Yeah. Stephen.
Stephen.
Yes.
If you know so much about Mary.
Daniel Pilgrim said, on a scale of 0 to James Whitlock, where is Stephen A. Smith? That's a good one. I'm gonna say Stephen is a solid 7.5. Maybe he's an 8 on the Jason Whitlock scale. Because who's between Jason Whitlock and Stephen A. Smith? It may not be anyone. I think you go Jason Whitlock, Stephen A. Smith, and everyone else is to the left of them. You know? So I don't know if there's anyone worse than Stephen, but not as bad as Jason Whitlock. RG3 is definitely worse than Stephen A. Smith. We got Stephen A. Smith, RG3, Sage Steele, Jason Whitlock. Our show's just corny. I chose more like Roland Martin.
Should we see it as bullcrap?
Okay, here we go.
The Stephen A. for president talk. Let me put it this way.
Are you serious?
Are there
my nigga?
truly people who would support you
Without question.
running for
I
president?
think I could win it. I'm not playing. I think I can win it. The issue for me is two things. Number one, I gotta give them my money. They ain't happening. They ain't happening. I'm not trying to give up my money. I'm not trying to do, and I'm not trying to get that money replaced by money where I'm beholden to somebody. I'm at the mercy, because then I can't lead. So I can't see how that would happen. So you could consider it bullcrap because of that reason, and because I'd have to go out and beg for campaign. I don't want to disrespect the politicians. That's lazy thinking. I get it. I don't mean it literally, but when you're on the campaign trail and you need campaign dollars in order to have commercials and stuff like that, that's not how I'm built. But if that wasn't an issue and it's just about me.
So right now, this is Stephen A's commercial for a sponsor. This is him saying, look, hey, I could be your Herman Cain, Ben Carson this election season. Holla at your boy. I'm a way better speaker than Herman Cain and Ben Carson. Oh, hell yeah, Stephen would take some AIPAC money. You best believe. You best believe he takes some AIPAC money. Stephen A is basically saying, listen, I'm a good speaker. I got a platform. I'm way more popular than Herman Cain and Ben Carson ever was. And I have way more credibility in black spaces, maybe not with Ben Carson. Ben Carson raised a generation of black boys. Every black nigga that went to college that's over the age of 30 right now read a Ben Carson book probably when they was a teenager. Every Jack and Jill's Negro read a Ben Carson book over the age of 35. But what Ben Carson didn't have is the barbershop niggas. So Stephen A is like, look, I got the barbershop niggas. I got moderate whites. I got right-wing whites. I got a handful of liberal whites. I can talk a good game, literally. But I'm not about to spend my own money being y'all buck dancing coon this election season. No, Stephen A, listen, anybody who knows sports, it has a barbershop, has barbershop. You know what I'm saying? He'll do an HBCU campaign tour. He's got the Black Excellence Brunch crowd. But he just said some real shit. I'm not about to spend my own money wasting my time to build my platform. But if you want to sponsor me to be a talking head for neoliberal fascism in 2028, then yeah, because even if they're talking bad about Stephen A, the fact that his name rings bells is enough. Anyway, he's looking for a sponsor. So look out for the Stephen A moderate enlightened centrist podcast coming. He's already got one, but like look out for that. If he hasn't done Joe Rogan, let me see. Has he already done Rogan? If he hasn't, I know he's about to, and he's about to do it again. He hasn't done Rogan yet? I'm surprised at that. It doesn't seem like he has, because that would have came up earlier. So mark my words, he'll be on Rogan by the end of the year. I think I can get away with a Black Unk tier list and have it not be as toxic than a tier list. We'll come back to that. We won't do that today. They colonized Unk, damn.